Welcome back to Sid Nichols Sports Unfiltered. Today we're going to read some of your comments from our pretty successful video of about 3 weeks ago titled Major League Baseball Has Lost Its Soul. And we're going to get into those comments right away. But I want to give you a little bit of information before then. Last night I decided, leading up to this video, to watch the Sunday night MLB game. Red Sox versus Dodgers. Should have been a very, very big game, a lot of interest. You know what I remember from it? I remember 3 or 4 home runs, which was fine. I mean, big hitters putting the ball in the stands. But that was so far overshadowed. And also overshadowed were 2 spectacular defensive plays by second baseman in the game. But what I remember is the 3-man booth, constant close-ups and chatter. I also remember an interview with Clayton Kershaw in a suit during the game. I remember the Dodger manager interviewing the new guy who had just been traded over. I think it's Scooble, who just came over to the Dodgers. A lot of time taken up with talking heads, face-to-face, up close and personal. In other words, gimmicks, TV gimmicks that are supposed to bring you closer to the game. How about just showing me the damn game? That would be fun. The other thing that made it absolutely impossible for me to continue to watch the game was Wally the Green Monster. Now, we all know the Green Monster. Maybe they've got a mascot named Wally. The Red Sox players have adopted the idea of wearing some modified motorcycle helmet with green and yellow felt-shaped Wally the Monster head on it. First player hit the home run. They're standing there with the helmet. They can't wait to get it on him. And he proceeds down the dugout, all glad-handing. It would have been perfect without the stupid, absolutely ridiculous helmet on. What are you doing? I'll tell you what you're doing. It shows up great on TV. So the players understand the gimmickry of the media. They want that attention walking down that dugout. Shows the name of the player very clearly on the back of the jersey, wearing something that I would think a group of little leaguers would be embarrassed to wear. I'm telling you, I tried to stick in. I tried to stick through the next inning, and I just could not get that image of this buffoonery out of my mind. So I was out. Now, let me tell you about this video. It was by far our biggest video, and I wasn't expecting it. But I stand by the fact that Major League Baseball has absolutely lost its soul. We had over 300 comments, almost 400. The vast majority agreed wholeheartedly that baseball today is awful. Let me give you the top 4 things that the commenters were at odds with about Major League Baseball. The number 1 thing, the ghost runner. I left off all the profanity and the anger and the angst about that, but it was pretty severe. Number 2, players showboating everything. One example was, you're down by 6 and you hit a double and you are standing there clapping on second base like it's Game 7 of the World Series. That was a great comment. The number 3 rated complaint overall that I was able to total up was Commissioner Manfred. Enough said there. Number 4, not surprisingly, and just behind the idiotic commissioner, was the DH. The DH in every way. American League, National League, just the DH was a huge, huge anxiety and anger moment for our watchers. I want to tell you one other thing. I got a comment today, and it was Major League Baseball ratings on TV are higher than ever. Shut up, you old boomer. That was this morning. Welcome to Monday. Well, if you'll just do a very quick Google or AI search, whatever you prefer, and just ask the question, compare the ratings of the 70s, 80s, and 90s to today's baseball ratings. The first sentence says, Major League Baseball ratings are significantly down. Then they break out each of those decades, and they specifically talk about how far the World Series, which was at a time really a premier event, has fallen. So it's pretty good news to me that most people understand this. All right, now let's get into the comments. And I think I have 8 here. I won't bore you all morning with just these comments, but some of them are just spectacular. And these are the more negative comments because I wanted you to hear the other side. And I'm not going to read anything about names. I'd just rather not do that. The first one, though. Major League Baseball started making stupid rules to appeal to ADHD blank that will never be fans. Media runs Major League Baseball. Well, now that was a pretty big shot. It wasn't a shot of opposition to my point of view, but I really thought that comment was pretty severe. It really gets after the fact of this person's interpretation of why the rules are being changed. I think his only real valid point in my mind is the media runs Major League Baseball. That is absolutely true. Comment number 2 was very interesting. City Connect jerseys are the best things in sports, you blanking boomer. That is not a serious person right there. This is another comment that comes directly at your presenter. Go listen to your 8-track tapes and yell at the kids to get off your lawn. Oh, man. Very creative. It's standard, but it was still creative, combining the two. I do have 8-track tapes, as a matter of fact. I don't have a player, but I still kept a lot of my 8-track tapes. I see nothing but nostalgia with that. I don't understand why that makes me a boomer or an old man. But anyway, here's another comment. We're moving right along, and some of these are going to get really good. Game is great. Never was meant to be a 3-hour death march. And listen to this. 70s players could not hang with modern players. That is definitely not a serious person. Wow. Now, we get to another comment that I found very interesting and I liked. Baseball was never important. Let it die. I mean, just get to the point. I'm not going to add a lot. And some of these commenters, in the negative to my video, disagreeing, wrote volumes. I mean, volumes of the same words over and over. And it just almost felt like they were trying to convince themselves instead of me. Either way. All right, here's a good one. This may be my all-time favorite of the comments from the video. Y'all act so great. Y'all, I think, meaning boomers, or maybe just people who disagree with this guy. Half the players of your era were on drugs. STFU, stupid boomer. Something tells me he did not agree with the premise of my video. And that's just fine. I appreciate the comment. Okay, here's one that is titled, or titles in the comments, Real Men. The game has better players today. You love Pete Rose killing a guy. Oh, you love Pete Rose killing a guy's career in an exhibition game. A guy shows emotion, gets a 4-seam fastball to the head, taken out on a stretcher, and you like it. Wow. No, I don't like anybody taken out on a stretcher. But sometimes the inside pitch works magic. I just would rather not hit anybody in the head. I think middle, and down. It's just fun. Okay, next to the last. You stupid old man. Nothing was ever better about baseball than today. Shut up. Strong opinions. I could not disagree more. Okay, the final comment. And this one is really a reach. Boomer. The runner on second helps the game by saving players' health. Okay. This is, and look, I'm wearing my Cincinnati Reds red shirt and hat. Now, that's not an official red shirt, it's just red. But I'm wearing my hat in honor of the fact that in the comments, an awful lot of people busted on me for being a Reds fan. That's just fine. We haven't been relevant for so long. I really just don't care. And as the trade deadline approaches, Cincinnati will probably stand pat and just have the most inept, mediocre team. And it doesn't mean their players are all inept. I'm not saying that. It means that team, from its maybe coaching up and down the line, general managership, ownership, and overall operation as a Major League Baseball franchise, is horribly inept. Something is really wrong with our Cincinnati Reds, folks. But back to the point we're making about baseball. Look, I never expected this to trigger so many emotions. Obviously, the emotions were very positive overall. And I think it just kind of pigtails on the fact that the search will tell you ratings are far, far down. They're nowhere close to any of the ratings in those earlier decades. The game is in a TV ratings free fall. And the whole stupid, gimmicky approach to try to speed it up, it's just making the game worse. It's not making anything better. There are a few things I think that are reasonable tweaks. I don't hate everything about the new rules changes. I hate the stupid hats. I hate the chains. I hate the whole look at me spotlight. You know, this whole thing started with one of my favorite players, Ellie De La Cruz, doing something really foolish, stopping short of the plate after a home run and walking in, throwing his hands up. And boy, even a lot of Reds fans got hot about that. I don't care. It was a mistake, and I would hope he would not do that again. He's just a great athlete, great player. He doesn't need that. He doesn't need anything to call the spotlight. He's a great player. The spotlight's going to follow him. As far as the Red Sox players wearing Wally the Green Monster, I'll just say to all of you, you should just be absolutely embarrassed. Now, all you sunshine pumpers are going to say, oh, you old man, you boomer, you can't have any fun in the game. That's not fun. That's making yourself look stupid. It's not kindergarten. It's Major League Baseball. And great players in Major League Baseball today don't need gimmicks to get themselves noticed. They need to continue to make great plays and to do really good things and carry themselves maybe with a little bit of class, a little bit of character, and just show off what a great player they are. Now, look, these are my opinions. I'm sure a lot of you won't agree with me. So, again, if you don't like what I'm saying here today, put your comments in. If you do, please feel free to add your comments. I love reading them all, and I try my very best to answer everyone's comments. Got a little hectic on that video, but send them in. We'll try to talk back to you in a professional and unemotional way, I hope. It usually matches your comments. So until we get back together again in a couple weeks and talk more baseball or football, or it's about time to start talking about the old NASCAR world because it's an absolute clown car at the moment. Everybody take care. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye. The game is better.